Saturday night, between 8 and midnight, I'm going to be staying up late and playing music. My music and yours, because I want you to be part of the show. Break out the vinyl, dust off the 45s, get your CDs in order, and share it with me, the music you love. Let's talk and play music together. JK, every Saturday night, 8 till midnight, here on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Interactive Radio. Tweet at 1395 5AA. Peter Godfrey.
Good morning, 18 past 5. Let's head across to New Zealand. As I mentioned before, Selwyn Manning in New Zealand, livenews.co.nz. G'day, Selwyn, how are you?
Yeah, g'day, Peter. Very good this side of the ditch, I think.
That's the way. All right, we're going to get on to some, what sounds like some juicy political talk at the moment.
Yeah.
A bit of, political manoeuvrings between a couple of different camps on an economic front in regard to your dollar, whether it should be high or low.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering also if this kind of debate has been going on in your side of the world, in Australia.
It does from time. Not in recently, but it has. It does indeed. Yeah.
The Kiwi dollar's been at traditional highs for some time now, and what it's been doing, arguably, is eroding particularly manufacturers and exporters, from being able to really competitively get their goods offshore, meaning that because the New Zealand dollar is getting higher compared to the Australian and the US dollar, and most other currencies, it costs more to buy the Kiwi goods in the countries overseas. And that's the equation. Now, the politicians have all come back now, Peter. This week was the first week back for the year. They're all in the debating chamber, new speaker, and they're all having a go and trotting out all their ideas. Now, there's been an interesting thing where throughout last year, the Labour Party, the Green Party and New Zealand First, the most prominent ones in the opposition camp, have been saying the New Zealand government the Nationals who are in government, must intervene to bring the value of the Kiwi dollar down. There have been manufacturer job losses, trends set throughout last year, and look like those negative trends are going to continue this year, and they're saying the dollar is key to getting a recovery in that sector. Now, the Finance Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, Bill English, he said yesterday there's no way that they're going to do that. If they went down that track, then the most likely thing is that the actual value of the wages of the employees is actually going to reduce.
Meaning they can't buy as much imported stuff, I guess, is what he was saying, is it?
Yeah. And things like, the price of petrol, diesel, etc., will increase inside the country, particularly in those areas where New Zealand is importing goods into the country. So, that's the debate. The Labour Party spokesperson, he comes back. Remember, the Labour Party here is in opposition. The guy here that's responsible for speaking on finance is a guy called David Parker, and he's saying that's absolute rubbish. That kind of argument coming from the government doesn't wash, particularly when you've got people out of work. The idea is to get people back into work and then try to work on the domestic economy to flatten it out.
There'll be some fiery scenes in Parliament, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And a poll showing Nationals on the decline?
Yes, it is. Now, Nationals have been in power here since 2008. The election was in 2011, and they're getting into mid-term now. And what we've seen is their popularity being eroded down very slowly. And the latest poll is a Roy Morgan poll, and it's showing the Nationals down 2% since January, and sitting on 44. Now, the problem for National is that 44% doesn't obviously get it over the halfway mark, and its coalition partners are also down. The Māori Party, for example, is on 0.5%. That's down 1%. The ACT Party is down 0.5. That's unchanged, and United Future on 0. So you can see that the public just do not like John Key's mates. Those parties that help prop his party up to stay in government, and John Key's party is just slightly in this poll. It's showing trends where it's just easing back. Likewise, obviously, the opposition parties are sharing slight increases. Labour up 3% to 34.5. Greens on 13.5. So it's that kind of thing, that's happening in New Zealand at the moment.
And how far was it last year or the year before your election? I can't recall now. How far in were you?
November 2011.
Okay. So, and yours, is it a 4-year term?
3-year term. There's been a bit of talk in the last few weeks about whether or not New Zealand should go to a 4-year term, and countries kind of divided on it. There's around about 60% saying, well, let's have a look at the idea. But obviously people who want to get rid of the government are thinking, 4 years, that's a 3-year term of government, that's 12 years.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I guess it all depends on your perspective, whether you like it or not. When the party you like's in,
yes,
4 is good. When it's not, 3 is better.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I was interested. I saw actually a little bit ago. There was a claim that a young girl was sighted. It was in Queenstown that somebody thought had a remarkable resemblance to the missing girl Madeleine McCann.
Yes, that's right.
And this has come to a bit of a conclusion now.
Yes, it has. Now, there have been several spottings down in the South Island at different times over the last few years. While people thinking, now that girl there, I'm sure she's Madeleine McCann. Right down to Madeleine McCann had kind of a line in her right eye.
Yeah.
And this girl has the same, apparently.
Yeah.
Now, the girl remains anonymous, but once and for all, New Zealand police have satisfied themselves that the girl is not Madeleine McCann, who went missing all those years ago in Britain. A DNA sample was taken of the girl who lives in the South Island in Queenstown, and it's confirmed that she's not the missing British girl. Now, over the last few years, like I was saying, there's been suspected sightings. On each of these occasions, New Zealand police were satisfied the child was not the missing girl, but when another sighting occurred about a month or so ago, the Metropolitan Police in London requested once and for all that a DNA sample be taken and that sample be tested. That has been concluded now, Peter. Yeah, so it just goes to illustrate, I guess, that perhaps these types of things, DNA could have been done right at the beginning.
Yeah,
indeed. Satisfied, I think.
The family, so their privacy's been maintained. They've never been identified, or the girl. You said that? No.
So they've requested that their privacy be maintained and that their girl be protected from speculation, obviously, and things like that. The police have also called for their privacy to be observed and respected, and so that's an interesting one. It certainly raises all of those questions again. One, obviously, about this girl who went missing all the time that we've all heard about those years ago, but also the safety of children all over the place.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's been put to rest conclusively by that DNA.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, indeed. All right, thank you for that. And just on a question without notice, Selwyn, being Valentine's Day today, are you a bit of a romantic at heart? Have you got any Valentine plans, or?
I'd try, Peter. I'd forgotten until I heard you mention it in the lead up to me coming on your program.
Oh dear.
I better go and put my mind to it and see what I can do, but otherwise I might be in trouble later on.
You may well be,
How about you?
Thanks for putting me on the spot as well, Selwyn. Touche. We were talking about it the other day, and because we got our Fringe Festival kicks off tonight for the next 3 or 4 weeks of all sorts of concerts and other shows. So we actually thought, we'll try and figure out a show that the other would like to see, and buy tickets for that. So that's we sort of planned it. So
that's a very cool idea. That might give me a few tips and perhaps a few of your listeners.
Yeah.
I was picking up too that some of the people calling in on the politics, it's very much about don't like this person, and I don't like that one much, but I like that one better than the other. I wonder if what Tony Abbott's going to be doing for his Valentine's Day. And Julia Gillard, is she going to be getting roses? Does anybody like her over there anymore?
Who knows? Well, Tim, her partner, I think probably likes her, but yes, her popularity is on the wane, that's for sure. And anyway, it's I think somebody referred to it earlier. It's quite a soap opera. Our politics at the moment.
Over this side of the ditch, we kind of we say, our politicians can appear pretty lame at different times, but oh boy, if you want to see a good scrap, you look across the ditch to Australia and watch what those politicians are doing.
We've raised the bar on it.
You've raised the bar. I think even the English Labour Party would find it hard to keep up with that tradition.
Yeah, well, I think, is it the Indian Parliament? Often there's physical outbursts and chair throwing and all sorts. We've seen that a few times on videos. Yes, it's fun indeed. All right, Selwyn, have a great Valentine's Day. I hope you come up with something and don't end up in the doghouse. And
I'll be looking to see when the Fringe fringe festivals hitting New Zealand, maybe that's the way I'll go to, Peter.
Good
Start
be
a
go.
trend.
Good on you, Selwyn. Talk to you again next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Selwyn Manning from livenews.co.nz. 27.5 News, sport and weather with Anne Stone next. Then more of your calls, 8223 0000.